I am bored. I don't like it here. It's boring. I don't want to go there. It's boring. I don't want to meet those people. They are boring. Boring. How often have we heard this word? How often do we use it? Irrespective of age, irrespective of experience, irrespective of anything. But this word will always come up every now and then. Be it a book, be it a movie, be it a TV serial, be it a place, be it food, be it people. Boring somehow comes in now and then. But have you ever thought of it? What exactly is boredom? And what does it do to you? That is one part of the question. The other part is, why should you get bored? And how on earth do you get bored? Now, as far as I understood it, boring is when you have nothing to do because you've done everything that is to do in this life. It's like you've read every book that's available. You studied every journal that's available. You understood the cosmos completely. You understood human beings completely. If you've got all that under your belt and then you say, I'm bored, I can still pause and think. But seriously, have you actually got everything? Let me ask you one question. How well do you know yourself? Because many times, we come across this thing, get to know yourself. I've got to understand myself. Sometimes I don't understand myself. I've even heard these dialogues. So when you have such questions, can you really get bored? I mean, the way I look at it, if you find things boring and if you are so boring, imagine how boring you are for other people when you are among them. The word boring has vanished from my dictionary at least. I don't know when I last used that word because I understood one thing. Whether you are sitting alone, doing work alone, traveling alone, eating alone, or you're doing it with company, there is always something happening around you. The question is, how alert are you? The question is, how attentive are you? The question is, how focused are you? The question is, how silent are you? How willing are you to be observant? How willing are you to keep that whiteboard of yours absolutely clean without you start scribbling everything, which is nothing but your own wonderful comments, your wonderful advice, which is not required, and your own perceptions, which again is not required. How often do you present a whiteboard and let somebody else write on it? Whether you understand it or not, whether it's interesting or not, whether it makes sense to you today, tomorrow, doesn't matter. The very fact that you allow someone to write on that whiteboard of yours need not be a physical whiteboard, but it's there in your mind. It's like an artist who takes out his paintbrush, takes out his palette of colors and just starts giving his strokes. You don't understand a damn thing, but you still allow it. You don't question it. You just be a part of the journey that the other person is taking you through. Now, when you do that, and if you do it, tell me something. Can you really get bored? I mean, there's so much to do. And what I've understood is, why do people actually get bored? Now, what I have understood, again, after observing people, and I've gone through it myself, it's like buying a new laptop or a new electronic device, okay, which you've been wanting and you finally get it, and now it's time to set it up. Now, there are two things that can happen. One, you tear open the box, open the equipment, and pull out the wire and start plugging it, and it doesn't work. And then you scratch your head and try different things, it still doesn't work, you get frustrated, and then it suddenly comes out, I'm bored of doing this, and you just chuck it. Thing is, every equipment comes with a user manual. Have you picked up that user manual before you start opening up the equipment and just browse through it? I'm not saying study it, browse through it. They have those step 1, step 2, step 3. Go through that at least, so that you get a general idea as to how to set it up. Do you have the patience to read the manual? Do you have the patience to read and the ability to understand what's written in the manual? And then with complete involvement in that little project, set up that equipment which you have bought with your time, effort and money for your own use, for your benefit, but you're not willing to go that extra mile to read the manual and set it up the way it's supposed to be so that you enjoy it. Why? Because you've been habituated, we have been habituated to get everything instant. Everything is made and given to you. There's no effort by you. Somebody else does the hard work and gives it on a platter to you. So now you got accustomed to such a degree where even your patience has left the room. You don't have patience. You're sitting, waiting at the reception at an office to meet somebody. You're waiting and waiting and waiting. I've gone through it. I waited for hours. And I couldn't leave the reception because if I left, I may have missed that person. And it was an important meeting that I had to meet that person. Whether it was for closing a deal or whether it's for collecting the money for a service provided. But then, how do you pass your time? Similarly, sitting in a car at a traffic junction, what do? Do you curse? Or do you spend that time constructively? Whether you listen to a good piece of music, whether you just observe people, or whether you just shut your eyes and breathe. Allow your body to relax. Don't worry, you'll be woken up. There will be plenty of honking when you have to move. But do you do that? Instead, you get anxious, you get exasperated, and then you say, I am bored, I am frustrated, and all those adjectives come out. So guys, give it a thought. Do you really have the time to get bored with so much to do? Give it a thought, it's worthwhile. You'll get your answers if you're honest with yourself. Try it.